Record here. We will have a replay while everybody pops in. I am obviously you can see my screen where it's at halfway through. You got a little bit of a head start there. So, hello, welcome. Happy morning, happy afternoon, happy day. Comment in the chat box. It should be open for y'all right now to tell me who you are and where you're from and what your business is. When I do these, I really like to know who's attending, whether or not it is e-commerce or Etsy or content creator strictly only. Comment below. We're going to get started in like 2 minutes. People can watch the replay, so I don't like to drag this part out too long. And I know that you are spending an hour with me. Regina, you own two businesses, web design and soul food catering. How cool. Like, that's awesome. I'm so interested. Canada, creative director and food blogger. Love this for a food blogger. That's awesome. Food bloggers need all the help they can get. I have said it many times. I could never be a food blogger. South Carolina, Michigan, mystery writer. Ooh, looking for help bringing traffic to my website. We did an older podcast with a mystery writer. It was a couple years ago. I think it was everything COVID time feels like 100 years. So it could have been 6 years ago. Victoria, Pinterest manager, VA. I love that. St. Paul, curriculum and books on the Bible and Christian history. I love that. College girl cherished. Care packages to send to college girls. I have an 18-year-old and a 17-year-old, senior, junior. I'm your people. I can cry right now thinking about it, but I won't. VA for food bloggers in Texas, OBM and creative VA. I love that. Central Maine, Seattle, Portland here. I'm in Portland. So there's that. I love these. London. I'm always waiting for the first overseas person. So B, you get that title. Seattle, Atlanta, New Jersey, Rome. This is amazing. Artist and designer, Latvia, Saskatchewan, Canada. These are so you guys, can I just like stop for a minute and say, and I'm not like, I genuinely see this. This is amazing. Like the power of so many small business owners doing so many different things. Like if anybody ever says like, I don't think there's a place for me, this shows it here. Like there are so many places for people in their business and their online business around the world. And I get so excited about this. It's super cool. So okay, so for today, this is like part teaching, part info session, part connect with you. So it's kind of like all three built into one. So to call it a training wouldn't do it justice. To call it an info session wouldn't do it justice. But there's going to be like this myriad of parts to it. So let's get started. So I want to say, I titled this class like why Pinterest is your secret marketing weapon in 2024 because, well, here's why. This is how you set your strategy. And I'm very passionate about strategy versus tactics. And essentially, your why is what you go back to when things feel hard or they feel stressful or you just don't know why you're doing what you're doing. And so when we establish our why and why I think Pinterest is a secret marketing weapon in 2024, I'm really hopeful that this, at least chat that we have today, is going to make you feel a little more confident in heading towards the discovery of your why. So that's a little bit behind like why I titled it. Also, just so you know, we're going to do questions at the end. Normally, when I do some town halls, I'll stop and answer questions in the middle, but I'm going to save them all till the end. So put them in the Q&A box and I'm going to actually, so I can kind of go through these, I'll turn off the chat, but my team is here too, Tabby, Amanda, and Daphne. And so if anything's needed, we'll for sure let you know. So just know I've looked through all those. I'm going to turn it off now. We're going to dive in. Okay. So like I said, why is basically your secret weapon. And or why secret weapon? Why did we do that? Because Pinterest is easy to overlook. Instagram and TikTok, basically it gets all the attention these days because it has a lot of great dopamine hits. But I think Pinterest is the workhorse in the background. And I'm going to share some examples of how it's working for other business owners who are just like you. And then I'm going to share with you steps for how you can leverage the power of Pinterest in 2024. And what I think are my three, actually ends up being five, really non-negotiables that you have to have in order for Pinterest to work, in order for you to get the growth for your business. Simple Pin Media is committed to bringing you the most accurate, current, and data-driven information when it comes to Pinterest. We have remained committed to this for the last 10 years, and that is not changing anytime soon. We are also committed to helping you grow your business using Pinterest. That's all we teach. And we know there's a lot of options for your marketing efforts or who you choose to listen to or who you choose to invest in when it comes to Pinterest marketing. But we are passionate and we want to be the people that help you grow using this platform. At the end, I want to be fully transparent about this. I'm going to share with you the new program that we just are introducing right now. And it brings together this element of like a course, a mastermind, and live training, and basically helps us commit on that goal for you, our commitment for you in 6 weeks. Honestly, I have never been so excited about a program that we've created in a long time and how it's going to serve you. And this really has just come about in the last couple of weeks. So our goal with this is that you'll have a fully built, set up, and moving ahead Pinterest marketing strategy for your business in as little as 6 weeks. And that any answers you have or any questions you have will be answered about the platform. Like you can stop spinning your wheels on that. Like that's a big thing for me. So the new program we've created is for beginner and intermediate level when it comes to Pinterest marketing and those who basically don't want to waste any time getting it set up wrong. You're in my emails, you ask me questions, which course is the best, which training is the best. That's what we're kind of solving with this. So it's for those who have started on Pinterest, wondering if they're doing it right. It's for those who are frustrated with the information changing literally every 2 weeks. I feel your pain. And you want just like a clear roadmap for growth and what to do when those things change. Like what's your questions you need to ask, what's your resources. So just recently, and this is how this came about 3 weeks ago, some of you may have attended, we had one of our quarterly town hall meetings. And we do these because we want to get an understanding of what the questions are in the industry. And honestly, after I got out of the call, I was like holding my head like, oh man, people are really struggling with some deep things about Pinterest, like some confusion about how many times to pin per day. Do I need a scheduling tool or not? What is a really good like board strategy look like? And what it felt like is that there was really not a comprehensive solution to answer a lot of these questions and to get to the point where you could create a strategy, you could create some tactics that help you move forward and you knew what to do when you came up against these changes. This is also if you are a small business that needs a clear Pinterest marketing plan and you don't want to spend hours looking at Facebook groups, wondering if you need to take this course or that course, you're just ready for a plan. Your business time is worth that investment. So we'll talk about that towards the end. So my question for you is, what do you want from Pinterest in 2024? You can put it in the chat box. I always love to hear it. We're going to be chat box friendly this call. So get your fingers warmed up. What you want from Pinterest, I guarantee is what I want for Pinterest too. And as I go through these, just answer yes if one really hits it for you. Do you want more outbound clicks from Pinterest? These are the people clicking on your pin from Pinterest and coming to your website. Yes, I would like that. Do you want more email subscribers? This is actually my number one reason why I use Pinterest. That is exactly why I want to grow my email list. And I'm always looking to continue to unlock that piece. Do you want more sales of your digital products? I do. We started our shop on Shopify a year ago, and we are still really trying to figure out how to have our connections set up with Pinterest. Well, our connections are set up, but like how to be really crafty and creative about getting in front of the people on Pinterest to sell more of those. I don't have physical products, but I know watching in the chat, some of you do. So more sales of your physical products. Like I think there's a lot of missed opportunities in this space of physical products in people in the beauty space, in the art space, in the fashion space, even, I think there are people who are choosing Instagram because it feels good and it feels easy to sell your physical products there, which it is working, but that's a warm audience and Pinterest is a cold audience. And I think you can get some great sales of physical products from Pinterest. So like I said, I would answer yes to all of these questions as well, just like you. So I want you to know, like at Simple Pin Media, I'm not just working to solve these problems for other people, but I'm working to find solutions for myself. We eat, breathe, sleep sometimes Pinterest marketing. And so that's what we're thinking about all the time. So we want to extend that to you. So that at the beginning of this year, as I do with all beginnings of a new year, people ask me, like, is Pinterest still worth it? So I actually asked my team, I wanted to prove that to myself. Does Pinterest still work? I need some screenshots. I need to know what's happening for your clients. These screenshots from Pinterest Analytics were taken on February 8th of this year. And these are 90-day screenshots. And frankly, this is going into one of the lowest traffic times on Pinterest. So Pinterest is still working for content creators, for e-commerce sellers, for a hybrid of both. Now, I don't share screenshots lightly. In fact, I've shied away from it a lot in my business because I don't think your arrows will always be green. But I do think from consistently doing the things that we know work, you will get results over the long haul. And these screenshots are not overnight success stories. They're not somebody who just got on Pinterest like 3 months ago and now they're just completely killing it. This is a strategic plan, and consistency matters. And it matters for at least 6 to 9 months. That is the thing I will tell everybody, is that if you are new to Pinterest marketing, you need to give it at least 6 to 9 months to really see the needle moving forward. And the longer you go, the more your numbers expand and they increase. And so keep that in mind. If you're new, this is an investment this year in 2024. Like I said, I don't share these lightly. I am so cautious. Like I mama bear like crazy when I see people in Facebook groups sharing what works for them and everybody's trying to figure it out just to be discouraged. But I wanted to share with you because I want to show you that Pinterest still works. I know the tactics that we use work, and I needed to see that. So I love that you're here, that you took an hour out of your day to listen to me share these with you and how I can help you get your own green arrows. Okay. So probably a little bit late for an introduction, but I am Kate Ahl. I am an agency owner and a woman who started in Pinterest marketing in 2012 while I was working with a friend on her blog. And I saw a lot of potential in it. And in 2013, when Facebook like completely shut off traffic, people were looking for another place to go. And so I started exploring Pinterest and I was like, hey, this is bringing a new type of traffic, new leads, and people interested in products and content. So in 2024 or 2014, not 2024, 10 years ago, I started Simple Pin Media with one goal in mind. I would make it my mission to make Pinterest marketing easier for small business owners by taking it off their plates. And after managing for hundreds of clients at that time, I basically took all that I was learning and I packed it into courses. I packed it into memberships. I packed it into digital products and started a podcast. Now 8 years running, which is crazy. But again, the whole goal is that I wanted to teach Pinterest marketing in a way that people could take it in. They could take away the experiences that I had and they can learn how to do it best because I knew nobody had time to waste. So I want you to know I'm a business owner too. I'm not teaching these things from one perspective. I'm not teaching these things from just my perspective. I'm teaching these holistically. And I know that there's so many different businesses, so many different niches. And I know for you, just like me, I need them to be simple. I need them to be powerful and I need them to be effective. Just to note, I'm never going to be the hacky person. I'm going to be the person who's like, I'm going to try different things, but I don't go down rabbit holes that spend hours and hours and hours on Pinterest. There's some people who do that and I love them and I champion them, high fives, but I am the person who's going to look at like what's working on a whole and how we can take some of that and really move people forward. Like I said, our company has 10 years of experience. We've managed thousands of accounts, like tons of them. and we've consulted with tons of them. We've seen how Pinterest works, and I will never share anything that I don't personally use myself or we haven't tried on multiple accounts. So, and if I don't know the answer, I'm not going to make one up. We will figure it out and we will move forward. That's our commitment to you. So, well, it's great to know a little bit about me. I actually really care about you. So I want you to get the same results from Pinterest that our accelerator clients, this is a package we send our clients through, have received in the last year. Just recently, I actually asked a client how it's going, and I don't ask these things again because I want to get all the testimonials, but I need feedback. If I don't get feedback from people on if it's working or not working, then I can't adjust what we're doing. And I want you to feel confident, just like this client, in what you're doing on Pinterest. I don't want you to have the questions where you get up and you're like, this doesn't feel like it's working, or this doesn't feel like I'm doing it right. There's going to be days like that, but you're going to have a strategy and a plan to know what to do on days like that. So here are the 3 things I think every business needs in 2024 to make Pinterest the secret weapon. And these are actually my non-negotiables when it comes to growth. And each one of these things, honestly, I could teach probably its own session on, but I'm going to keep 10,000 foot level for this hour, just so that we're in this space so that, you know, if you don't have these things, you have to have them. I think that you can have a Pinterest marketing strategy that has one of these things that are kind of like, they're not 100%, but I would say in all the places with our clients where we have seen growth, these things result in greater growth over time. That doesn't mean straight up and to the right. I don't think anybody's Pinterest traffic is straight up to into the right. If it is, I would love to see it. I mean, there's been times over the years, but this is your steady growth over the long haul. So let's kick it into gear. I know you have a ton of questions that need answers, and it's key to get those answers before we move forward into learning. So, you know, Pinterest is the platform for marketing, but again, like I said, you're confused. You want to develop a plan. And most importantly, I think this is the thing I got from the town hall. You want to know if you're doing it right. So the 3 things: content. You have to create content to grow on Pinterest. And when I need content, here's what I'm saying. You need blog posts that people go to. You need a podcast that's converted to a blog post. You need some blog posts talking about your products. This is something that I've held back a little bit when people ask me, like, especially product sellers, do I really need a content strategy? And honestly, when I was looking at my stats, I can't back up a strategy with numbers that doesn't have a content arm. It just doesn't work. The numbers don't lie. They tell us over and over that people who are creating at least 1 post per week on their website show they will grow so much faster than those who do not. And those who make money from affiliate marketing, this is like the buzzy word this day on Pinterest. People are all excited about it. Even the people who are teaching it wrong will tell you, you need a blog post. You need content. And I know that's hard for some people who are housing their websites on like third-party websites, whether it's Etsy or whether it's TPT. I would highly encourage you to start creating content. And a quick win for you is you can leverage video pins on Pinterest. You can leverage it in short form content so that people can see what it is you're talking about. It's really important to note that people on Pinterest are cold. They don't know you. You are just a search term. You're not even a brand. 97% of searches on Pinterest are unbranded. So the one vehicle you have to get them to know you is a piece of content. And so this is probably my number one, where people will come to me and they'll say, hey, Kate, I have this business. I have a bunch of products. Maybe I have a Shopify store. Do I really have to do blog posts? And I'm like, yes, you do. You do have to do content. And also, I'd like to say this. If you are a YouTube creator, that can be your content as well. We have tested this lately going from Pinterest to YouTube, and it is working, which is great. So all that to say, if you have older content, update it. This mostly applies to people who have been on Pinterest for more than 3 years, but content is like really, really important. Number 2 is keywords. Pinterest is search and discovery. And I know that a lot of people will take what they know about Instagram and they'll just kind of like slap up either their Instagram picture or they'll slap up their caption instead of being really strategic about keyword use, especially when it comes to trending topics and holidays. So, knowing how to find and source those right keywords is key. The algorithm works based on people on Pinterest putting those keywords into this search box right here, looking for things they want to buy, dream, or do in the future. So if your keyword game is not strong, then your Pinterest marketing will not work. And you can do what are called like one keyword or long tail keywords. The whole goal is to use your keywords in your pin description, in your pin title, in your board name, in your board description. Anywhere that Pinterest asks for a keyword, you fill it in. And don't guess. I have done this, guilty. It's really easy for me to be like, okay, I'm just going to like put this. But recently we evaluated that some of the keywords that we were using were actually not working for us. And so we have to go back to the drawing board and look at new keywords. That's another thing is you might be on Pinterest for a while and you're wondering, why is my traffic going down? It's investigating keywords first. And then the third is images. There was a theory a couple of years ago that if people could create more images per blog post, then they could do that instead of updating content, right? Maybe they had a ton of blog posts and they thought, well, I'll just pound out all these images with Pinterest and then I'll grow. And what we saw in the numbers is that those people were stagnant or they were decreasing because they were only creating new images because I thought that's all that Pinterest liked. But that's not the case. They want new content and they want fresh images. And when I say fresh images, here's what I mean by that. Let's talk about this one here. We have plant subscription, we have how to start a blog, we have homemade vegan bar soap. Any one of these pieces could be easily transitioned into something that could be seasonal just by tweaking the image. Maybe it's a give the gift of a plant subscription delivered to your best friend's door weekly. You've just changed something that's been evergreen to something that might be more timely. And that's a really great hack that you can use just to change up your images slightly so that you're not creating a totally new blog post, but you're creating a little bit of a new image. At the same time, you are still creating some new content over here, but you're going back to the old and you're updating with this strategic plan of doing it based on events. One of my best pins that's ever run, I used the word spring cleaning. It was actually an accident that I used that. And what ended up happening is every spring, this rises to the top. I'm waiting for it to happen again this year. I'm really curious if it's going to happen this year because at some point it's got to die. It's been there since 2017. So the reason I say all that is that these are small tweaks that you can make to your image. You can update the title, you can update the call to action, and you can update the event that is happening. So don't let go of really getting great at your images. It's like one of those, I would say if you're good at images, it's quick and easy for you. But if you're like me and you're not really good at images, it's going to take some time. Big fan of templates. Okay, here are my two bonus elements I would say are also non-negotiable when it comes to creating a Pinterest marketing plan. Agility and adaptability. You have to be willing to take your strategy, take what is your why. Why are you using Pinterest for your marketing? Because if you look at it, you have tons of different options. You have SEO, you have email marketing, you have Instagram, you have TikTok, you have Facebook. Each one of those arms should have this. Why am I using it? I'm using Pinterest because I want to share all the educational knowledge that I have in order to grow my email list, which then in turn sells any of my products or my services. That is always my why. Now I can go into the tactical piece and I can say, okay, this doesn't seem to be working. In fact, just recently, Tabby, who's our social media manager, and I were going, man, our traffic seems to be really fluctuating like crazy. What is going on? Let's deep dive. Let's create new images for these posts. Let's, see if we can add some kind of seasonality element to it. If I was to say, hey, I've been on Pinterest for 10 years, what was working for me in 2017, which by the way, 2017 was an amazing year on Pinterest, kind of like fine wine. 2017 was so great. So if I was to say, I really want 2017 back, I'm not being agile and I'm not adapting to the changes today. Any social media platform will change. They will have different goals. They will update their algorithms. And so, do you have to overhaul your strategy completely? No, you just have to change a few things at a time. And when you change those things, you change them for a couple of months, and then you go back and you see, okay, how did I do? And that requires you really understanding your analytics, because then you can see which way things go, ebb and flow, right? So that is my bonus. Here's my last one. Confidence. I would argue that this is probably one of those things that you need the most when you encounter what somebody else says works. And it's really easy to hear what other works for other people and to say, okay, I'm going to try this. And then you hear something else from somebody else and you're like, I'm going to try this. And pretty soon after you know it, you're like trying this in a Facebook group here. And then you're trying this over here because somebody else said it. And then you're buying this course and then you're buying that course. And pretty soon you're like a pinball and you're like, I don't even know what works anymore. I'm done with Pinterest. This is garbage. I'm going back to something that I can just mindlessly do or mindlessly post on Pinterest. A lot of people will do that. You get really frustrated. You're like, throw up a pin. Check, I did it. So it's really important to get into this tunnel vision with your Pinterest strategy and trust what your numbers are telling you, what your story is when it comes to Pinterest. And while these aren't like I'm telling you how to schedule 25 pins a day or whatever, this is the thing that you can be able to say when somebody comes to you and says, hey, tell me about your Pinterest strategy and tactics. You can confidently say, yeah, I'm pinning 10 pins a day. It really seems to be working right now. I'm updating 2 to 3 images every couple of weeks. And I figured out the keywords that really work for me. I'm going to set this tactic for the next 3 months, and we're going to see how it works. And if I need to make another tweak, I'm going to do it. And you know what's most attractive about that is that you know exactly why you're doing what you're doing. And you're not kind of flowing in the wind, because a lot of things too, this is really important to note, is that there are top niches on Pinterest. It's like food, DIY, home decor, beauty, fashion. If somebody's in that space, they're always going to get higher numbers than everybody else. I'm in the B2B space. I'm targeting other business owners. My numbers are going to look so much smaller than any food creator. Like, I'm jealous of the food creators. I'm not going to lie. They've got great numbers on Pinterest. They're amazing, but they're not always going to look the same. I also want to say this is not going to take you hours per week. We've run a time audit comparing Instagram to Pinterest marketing, and hands down, Pinterest marketing wins in the hours department. If you are spending 15 hours a week on Pinterest, or even 10, you might be doing it wrong. If you are spending anywhere between 5-ish, that's okay. But our goal is to help you get to at least 1 to 2, because a bulk of the work that you're doing when it comes to Pinterest is your content, is you're looking for keywords, right? Key content is kind of like your overall business strategy. It's going to benefit everything. It's not so much that you need to do that just for Pinterest, even though I am saying it's the number one non-negotiable that you have to have for Pinterest. Got to take some water. Okay, I'm going to show you some screenshots here. So this kind of supports what we were just talking about, and this distinct growth path of those who take the best tactics that we give them and put them into practice. So here are 2 screenshots, same niche, same day. These accounts are talking about the exact same topic. One account is doing everything we suggest, and the other is only doing a few things that we suggest. And when you implement the tactics, the growth tactics, you can see that one is growing significantly faster and the other one is stagnant. So it's really important to note that even if you're in the same niche and somebody says they're getting great numbers and you're not, there might be some things that you can tweak to do better. Okay, so let's dive into this. This is my favorite thing to do. Okay, here we go. This is a rubric to help you right now. So my friend Natalie from Ops Authority, she teaches this. She has taught me this. It's forever changed the way I evaluate something. This is basically what's working, what's not working, what's missing, what's confusing. If you have a piece of paper in front of you, you can like write this down. I am not kidding when I say this is a great tool when you bump up against something and you're wondering where you're at. Like, how do I evaluate this? You can do it for your business overall, but we're going to do it for Pinterest marketing right now. So, what is working for you when it comes to your Pinterest marketing? I want you to take a few seconds. I want you just either put it in the chat box. What do you feel as working with your Pinterest marketing right now? Like if you had to say, Kate, I am nailing it. Maybe you're like, I'm nailing my images. Like they're so good. Like people would like want to buy them. Okay, I'm going to open up the chat box now because I want to see what y'all are saying. Okay. Videos. Oh, I love this. Titles. Okay. Consistency. Videos again. We're like really going in on videos. Also, just so you know, you might have it selected to host and panelist. Just use the drop down and say to everyone so everybody can see it, unless you're super private and you're like, don't want people to know. That's fine. Images and consistency. Really old pins is what's working for you. That's I hear you there. Some of mine are too. Okay. What is not working for you right now? If you had to say, I am on the struggle bus, I just cannot figure this out. I feel like I'm just like pushing a boulder upstream. I'm going to tell you, mine would be images, keywords. Keywords right now, we're in the midst of working on it. So I am definitely working on that right now. But it's been kind of trying to figure it out. But consistency, that's hard. Like images, about clicks, saves. Okay, efficiency. I'm with you with that. Okay, keywords, I still don't get it. I'm not connecting with people. Okay. What do you think is missing? What do you think if you had to look at what's working, what's not working? What are you like, this is missing? Is it direction? Is it guidance? Is it solutions? What is it that you feel like is missing for you? It could be strategy. Honestly, for a lot of people, it's like, I don't know why I'm using it. I don't know why I decided to invest in Pinterest. Everybody said it was a good idea, but truly, I don't know why for me. And that's, I think, an honest thing to get to, because in this world of online marketing, it is so easy to choose things that everybody says you should do. I'm guilty of that. And honestly, when I bump up against something, I step back and I go, I don't understand why I'm doing this. You know why I'm doing it? Because I saw some really great Instagram ads. I probably saw somebody else talking about it, but I have no ownership as to why I'm doing what I'm doing. So missing, unsure of next steps. What is confusing? I think I put scheduling here because I know that it's a thing that is confusing for a lot of people, or how many pins per day, or the minutia. Let's say that the nitty gritty details feel like they change every Tuesday. It doesn't make sense. I mean, you just in general can't wrap your brain around it. It's like, oh my gosh. Like I sometimes hold my head and go, it doesn't make sense. And I don't know how to really find a plan. Okay. So taking the rubric, which again, I really hope that you utilize this for other things in your business. What this helps you identify is being confident in what's working, knowing what's not working, seeing what part is missing, and then looking at something that is confusing. Because in order to identify like where you're at and where you're going, you have to understand these elements in order to make a good decision. Because when you work from a place of you're always just confused, we make decisions that aren't necessarily good for our business. I have done this multiple times and I have been burned big time, because I'll make a rash decision and I'm like, oh my God. Blah, blah, blah. And then I'm like, I don't even know why I needed that. So I identify with where y'all are at. Okay. So I do believe, obviously, since I teach Pinterest, that Pinterest marketing is the key to cold traffic for your business and sales for your business. I do not in any way think that means giving up on Instagram, up on TikTok if you love it, or any other favorite marketing platform that you use. I think it means adding to your marketing arm in a way that fulfills cold traffic, fulfills that search and discovery. And actually, I would argue that Pinterest is entering its second lift and rise in users. We have a new CEO within the last 18 months. I think he's really focused on strategy. Our last Q4 2023 results were 498 million monthly users. That is higher than they had in the pandemic when they had a boom. I think they're investing in positivity. I think they're investing in the future generations. And did you notice that all the CEOs of social media companies that were called back to Washington to give an account for how their platforms have affected kids, Pinterest wasn't at the table because they really care about creating a positive environment for the people who are interacting on their platform. And they want what's on Pinterest, your products, your content, to be serving these people where they're at. They're not interested in conversation. They're not interested in the garbage of the world. They're like, hey, come over here. We're the place where you want to be. And we want you, small business owner, to help facilitate that for our people. So I think Pinterest, because it is an outlier in social media, people aren't doom scrolling. They don't delete the app when they're in a social media detox. They are looking for your content. They are looking for your product. They are looking for something that's going to add value to them. And so giving up on Pinterest in 2024, which I think some people are apt to do, I don't think is smart, because I think it's not an either or, it's a both and that it supports your cold traffic search and discovery, and it supports even your warm traffic too as well. Okay. So and this is what I'm so excited about. So I want to help you get all of that in as little as 6 weeks, which I told you in the beginning I was going to be talking about this. I think that this is a product that has actually been brewing in me for a couple of years, and it all came after our town hall, and that's called the Inner Circle. I promise it's not a cult. So what is it? So basically we take and we combine a few learning models because we know that people learn different. And I've gone through multiples of these. We know people learn course-based, we know people learn mastermind, and we know people learn live, and they need a roadmap and they need Pinterest marketing education that moves them through a process. But nobody has time to let that last 6 months, 12 months, or whatever. 6 weeks, learn, implement. Let's get you going. So before we dive into the nitty-gritty of what the 6 weeks involves, I want to kind of compare for you how our done for you service is, like how we do it for our clients, and how this is being brought into it. So when we serve new clients that come to us that are struggling with Pinterest, we take them through what's called our accelerator program. Our team basically does everything for them in 6 weeks to get them up and running on Pinterest. Keyword banks, analytics deep dives, image templates, clean up their Pinterest account, assess, account audits, and then pinning strategy. We do it all in those weeks, and then they roll into monthly management. So I wanted to take basically what we do for our clients and bring it into a place where you could do the work, but you're being guided by our team, our data, our plan to help you move forward, instead of leaving you with just another course in your inbox. Listen, I've bought a lot of them. I don't have time for them. I will buy a course because it sounds amazing, but I will not do it. So I am interested in taking information and help people actually implement it. So because this is new, we don't have any data obviously just yet, but we know how this works for our clients. We get them moving in the right direction because no one has time to waste. Whether it's testing new tactics or trying new keywords or playing around with images, we want to teach you how to do that so that even after the 6 weeks, you're equipped and empowered to go, I know why I'm using Pinterest, and I know the how, and I know what I'm going to change when things get rough or they feel like they're not working for me. It's not magic. It is using data. It's what we know works and doesn't work for each niche. And we would be doing a disservice to you to say, well, let's take what works for a food niche and apply it to a B2B niche. It like doesn't work. It's totally different. But again, you have to know how to pivot and how to play around with new things on Pinterest. There are a ton of Pinterest marketing courses out there. I've had one, I've had a membership, and truthfully, a couple weeks ago after the town hall, and I've been emailed a lot lately about certain particular courses, I was like, oh, I feel like there has to be something different. There has to be something that combines all of this into a place where people actually are getting done what they need to get done. Like, or they set an intention of figuring out Pinterest marketing and they don't have to think that it's going to take them 6 months or 9 months or whatever. And they have somebody holding them accountable. I don't know about you, but I can easily do stuff if somebody's not holding me accountable to do it. And I'm also passionate about, it's called Experience Shares. I went through a program that was amazing. And I believe that some of the most powerful business direction comes from people who have gone before you. There's that phrase, like, no one needs to be should all over. Like, you need coaching from someone who has tested and tried different methods. I am passionate about gatekeeping. Somebody saying, well, you should try this. That's not helpful to you. What's helpful to you is to say, we've tried this, this, and this with this account. I want you to go try this. I want you to go test this on your account because I know this worked on these three. And I wanted to create the inner circle to bring together knowledge, support, and expert Pinterest advice with, again, those who have actually tested it on accounts instead of trying something that nobody has tested before. So here's how it works. The number one goal is that you come out of this program with everything set up and established in a system built for your Pinterest marketing that does not leave you looking for another course or searching Facebook groups. You know what to do daily, weekly, and monthly, and it's all focused on growth. So this program follows a staircase of growth, so you're not overwhelmed. So week one, you join the inner circle. You're brought into a Slack group with other members who have the same goal of figuring out Pinterest, and you are matched with a concierge. So this is somebody, a very seasoned team member on our team. In fact, it's one of our team leads, Sarah. She's amazing. She's going to be your assigned team member to take all of you through the process in 6 weeks. And we want this to be a small group. I'm not interested in 500 people in this group. Like, we want a small, intimate group so that everybody can get their questions answered and you have the ability to troubleshoot when you're struggling, and also somebody to hold you accountable when you're working through it. Like I said, the Simple Pin concierge, we want to take you through everything. We want to make sure that you are not left on an island. I'm not interested in anybody not showing up to this group. I want this to be active, engaged, and again, accountable. You'll also complete a branding form. We'll get information on you, your goals, a general understanding of your brand. And we don't want you just to fill this out for us, but for you. This is a really good time for you to kind of go back and assess your brand, your why, your understanding of Pinterest. We have our first Zoom call on March 11th. All calls will be recorded. So this cohort will meet together on Zoom. If you don't want to show your face, that's totally fine. And we're going to outline the roadmap of what will happen over the 6 weeks, how our team is going to support you, and how you can support each other as inner circle members as well. Week 2, assess and audit. This is really where we're going to walk you through our process for how we assess an account, how we audit an account for changes and what needs to be done. We're going to provide a checklist and details as to how you need to do this. There's also a time where we can talk about tech connections. We can connect you with people if you're struggling, especially if you have a shop, especially if you're in the verified merchant catalog, tagging. If those things are really difficult for you, hand raised. It's difficult for me. We have tech people that we can send you to that can get it done super fast. So just know that we'll make sure that that's taken care of. And this is also, like I said, a time to make sure tech connections are all in place. In addition, in week 2, we're going to go over our keyword bank. This is, again, something that we do with our clients is we build a ton of keywords so that people can have a starting point of how to really create a silo. Like, okay, this keyword bank is what we're going to go for. That's already a few busy weeks right there, but there will be time to catch up. Week 3, clean up and organize your Pinterest account. You might not have to do a whole lot, but somebody else might have to do a little bit more. We have a full PDF detail, a full checklist as to how you want to do this. This includes settings, profile boards, look of the account. It's everything in there. And week 4, mastering your images and video pins. We have our image director. Our design director here at Simple Pin Media has created exclusive templates for the inner circle. These are ones that she has worked with several companies on, and we'll walk through how to update them, how many images to create per piece of content. And you're always, like I said, welcome to drop these images in Slack, and we can give you feedback. We can say, change this, do that, to where at the end of the image week, you're like, okay, I feel really good about my images. These feel great. I'm going to stick with them. And then I know what to change going forward. Working call. This is a pause in the middle of the program to block out time to work. I don't know about you, but sometimes when I have a working call, I can get on and I can do those things for an hour. I'm held accountable. That's on April 8th. Show up to the call. You can ask some questions, but we really want to just do that in the chat. So it'll be kind of a quiet working call, but it'll definitely be where you can catch up to where you do not feel behind at this point going into week 4. Sorry, week 5. Week 5 is pinning. This is where we answer all the $1 million questions that you have. We get to the heart of what to pin, when to pin, how often to pin, the scheduling tool that you want to use. We can give you our reviews of different scheduling tools. You can share screenshots of your Tailwind queue or any other queue that you have. Test out other scheduling tools. Use Pinterest native scheduling. This is where we're going to get to the heart of finding a scheduling system that helps you stay efficient, stay productive, and get ahead so that you're not still back at that point of like, oh, am I using the right tool? Am I not using the right tool? Does Pinterest hate me if I use Tailwind? We're going to get rid of all of that, to where, again, you're going to come out the other side and you're like, I know which tool I'm going to use. I know how to use it. And I feel really confident that this is the best choice for me. Week 6, this is strategy. They're like tying together strategy, tying together pinning, tying together all those tactics. A lot of people use those terms interchangeably. Sometimes I will too, but I kind of pull back on it a little bit. This is where we really get all of it pulled together. We say you have a set up Pinterest account, you have set up images, you know how to read your analytics, you know how to pin on a day-to-day basis, and you feel like you can launch into your own. Now, we do have an option too at the end where if you need us for monthly support, we'll share with you at the end. But our hope, if we do our job well, is that you will come out and be like, I feel pretty good about this. I know what I'm doing. I have a plan and I can do it. And it's not going to be all consuming. 6 weeks. Why 6 weeks? Honestly, I think after 6 weeks, people lose interest. After 6 weeks, people just it's not interesting anymore. So we can do a 6-week sprint. We can get you set up. That can be the most powerful 6 weeks that you have for your Pinterest marketing. Why us? Well, because I believe that we have all the data and information to really give you the lift that you need with Pinterest. Data, like I said, not teaching what's working for one person. I'm teaching what's working for many. Experience. We are sharing our experience with you on our accounts in this group. It's not Sarah who's leading you through saying, well, this is what worked for Kate's account. It's okay. I've tried this here. I've tried this here. She's been with Simple Pin Media. I feel like it's been 7 years now. I could be wrong about that, but it's 6 or 7 years. Sarah, sorry about that. Community. We are a community-minded company. And I believe that a rising tide lifts all ships. And this is how we really create forward movement. Does this method work? Absolutely works. These are actual numbers from a recent accelerator who went through the program where we did it for them and we got them these results in 6 to 8 weeks. So we're not doing it for you. This is going to be some sweat equity on your part, but we're taking all of what we know from that and we're giving it to you and we're guiding you through it. So our clients spend $3,000 on this package. It is a big investment and some clients just don't have the time. So the investment is worth it to them for us just to do it. But we know we've met with other clients recently who are in this in-between space that are like, I don't have the budget for that, but I think I have time to do it if I knew what to do. These are, again, some accelerator results here. You can see we're not just sharing high into the millions, but also those who are 2,000 outbound clicks. We've worked with all different types of numbers. So instead of 3,000, inner circle is going to be 20% of that cost at $597. We are only keeping this open until March 6th. So that is 1 week right now. And Tabby or Amanda, can you drop the link in the chat box? You can do this in 2 payments if you would like to. There'll be an offer there. We have a sales page for you. You can read tons more if you are a fact finder. I am a fact finder too. I have fact finded my way through this for you. So you can read that and you can look through. Again, we want people to all be in there by March 6th. And then the group is going to have their first call on March 11th. And then we're going to all move through together. We don't want to keep this open so that people are joining at different times and different weeks. This first cohort group will go through together. So who should join this program? If you have 1 hour per week to work on these tasks, join us. If your Pinterest account, images, keywords, or strategy needs some serious help, join us. You're new to Pinterest and you do not know what you are doing. This is perfect for beginners. You're not going to get set up the wrong way. You're going to get set up the right way. Or you're coming maybe back to Pinterest marketing after a couple of years and you honestly don't know what you're doing. You're like, what in the heck were idea pins? What about video pins? And last, I think this one's a big important one. You've taken a lot of courses and you are still confused. I want that to end. I want one place that helps you answer 95% of what you need answers to. And there's always going to be the 5%. We're always going to ask questions about different platforms, but I want it to be solidified for you. So we're trying to limit to 15 spots. So we'd like 15 spots available for this cohort so that we can really dig in with each account. You can see the link there, simplepinmedia.com/IC, short for inner circle. Again, our first meeting starts on March 11th. So I know that not everybody's going to be able to make a decision in this call, but I want you to think about it. I want you to think about if this is really the next step for you, because in this group of people that we are taking through, it's going to require commitment. And that is exactly why I don't want to do a course, because I want to hold people accountable to get them the results that they need. So what can you expect right after you join the inner circle? So 1, a fully optimized Pinterest account. It's going to be set up and ready to go. Pinterest images that get clicks. You're going to have a full keyword game plan, which right now, that's a big thing on Pinterest, is figuring out the right keywords for your business. And a pinning strategy that honestly doesn't take you hours, because I don't want you to take hours. And a full marketing plan that's tailored to your business. And you're going to build these things, but you're not going to do it alone. And you're going to know how to do it. So I'm going to leave this up here. I see we have some questions in the Q&A. I see we have some things in chat. I think the most important thing before we dive into the questions is that I have been doing this for 10 years. I have tried different things when it comes to teaching. And this short mastermind course, live teaching model, bringing together all these things, I think is going to get you the quickest and surest results that you need. And a lot of times I'm not as crazy confident to say things like that, but I've never been more excited about this. I've never been more excited about an opportunity and a way to teach you so that you're not slowed down in business, but your time is sped up. So people, if you're asking me what's a good course or not a course, I think courses can be fine. But if you're like me and you need accountability to fix it and you need somebody to ask, I'm a fact finder. I'm going to have a lot of questions. Bring your questions. Questions are welcome. If you are that person, and especially it's a theme in our company, communication is number 1. So ask away. We want this group to be a place where all your questions are finally answered. And if you're a fact finder, you might still have questions, but there you go. Go to simplepinmedia.com/IC. Okay, I'm going to leave this up, and I know it's at an hour. We've got 8 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and look at some of these things here too as well. Can we do the program without having a Facebook account? Yes, this is not in Facebook. I loathe Facebook. This is all in Slack. It's a private Slack community. Slack is very easy to use. It's super easy to use on your phone, super easy to use on your desktop. If you have another Slack, you can go back and forth. I love the communication tools that are in Slack. I think it gets to the questions that you have. There is a calendar of Zoom calls, March 5th, April 11th, and I'm forgetting the last one at the moment. Let me, we'll pop that in there, but there'll be 3. So bulk of the conversation, we have the Slack channel built into week 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to send out an email every Monday. We're going to send out a Slack notification every Monday of what you need to do, what the tasks are. And let's take, for example, like the second week, we're going to do a full like account. We're going to go over analytics. We have actually 3 videos we're going to share with you from our analytics team in that week, and that will be put in Slack. So you'll be able to see those pieces there. No Facebook group. No Facebook group. None. I am not a fan of Facebook groups. I used to have one a long time ago. Shan, you despise Facebook too. Oh, Ellie, you loathe Facebook. Yes. The Slack is really the best. I can't stress it enough. I'm a part of 5 Slack groups, and I feel like it's the best way. Even when I'm out and about, I'm like, okay, what about this? Or what about that? You might have questions when you're shopping. Drop them in the group, right? And somebody else might have the same question too. So I love, love, love Slack. Okay, Yolanda, I'm grabbing this from here. I see there's some in the Q&A too, but I'm going to grab it from the chat. Is it worth it for someone who gets decent impressions and 20K sessions a month from Pinterest? I ask as I'd like to massively increase these numbers. Okay, Yolanda, here's what I'm going to say. I want to massively increase my numbers too, but we can't really increase your numbers until we know why they aren't growing, or until you know the proper growth rate for your numbers. So your growth rate might be 2 to 3% per month. Month over month, you grow your sessions coming from Pinterest. Well, massively to you, Yolanda, might be that you bump that up to 8%. Or your goal in 2025 is you find a way to bump that up to 15%. So yes, it's worth it for you, because then you actually figure out what your growth rate is and how you can increase it. And you can see, okay, what are the keywords that I'm finding that are getting the most sessions per month? What do the images look like that are getting the most sessions per month? How do I tweak those? How do I go back to those? How do I change them so that I can do the things that increase over time? I think that's a fantastic question. So you will love Slack. I think there's more. Hillary, I'm more focused on client accounts in the moment. Can I work on them during the course? You certainly can. That's definitely an option for you if your clients are okay with it. We're very careful. Obviously, you haven't seen the names of clients that I've shared throughout this. I've shared some of their stats, but not their names. So I think if you're going to do that, I would just say you just need to make sure that that's okay with the client to be able to share some of that. Dawn, will you talk about Tailwind and how this would work in the program? Yes, absolutely. Sarah is a master. She has worked with so many scheduling accounts. So she can tell you how those worked for our team. We've done Tailwind, we've done Later, we've done Pin Generator, we've done Planoly. What we can tell you is the pitfalls of some of those scheduling tools, but we can also tell you how to speed up maybe the ones that you're doing. So yeah, we'll go deep into Tailwind and how to use it. It's the program we use for the majority of our clients, but we do have clients who have not wanted to use Tailwind. So we've used several others, and we've given that feedback actually to some of those owners and creators of those programs, because we want them to know, here's how we would change your program. And Sarah is team Simple Pin Media, creating their own scheduling platform. I am not doing it, but I love Sarah because she has found all the kinks in all of these scheduling tools for sure. Okay, let me pop over here. I know we've only got about 2 minutes here. Let's see. Okay, Hannah, I like this. When you talk about updating images, do you mean editing current pins or making new ones that include updated image and language? Updating new ones. So going back to the old ones, you can't edit them, right? Like once something's on Pinterest, the only way you can update it is with a new one, and you don't want to delete it, right? So when we say updating images, I want people to think outside the box to say, okay, here's a great example. Let's say you talk about something that's very evergreen. Maybe it's just like in general, I'm trying to think. The one that comes to mind, some of our clients do this, is sourdough. Sourdough is all, it's having a moment. People love it, right? So what I would say is that you can take something that's very evergreen and you can create spins on it that are like how to create this like sourdough loaf to give as a gift for Mother's Day, how to create a sourdough starter that you can give for Mother's Day or whatever. It could easily go to the main sourdough starter like explainer, but the Pinterest image would be geared towards the holiday. Does that make sense? So it's a little bit of updating those in a particular way. Okay. There will be a replay. So we will send that out tomorrow. For those of you who have gotten here late, we'll send it out tomorrow when we get it. We're going to host it on YouTube. So you'll see it over there. It'll be easy to watch. So don't worry about that. Okay. It is 11 o'clock and there's so many questions here. We know these questions. We've taken them down. Every quarter we do a town hall where we get into the nitty gritty of all of these things, which I love. So there is, let me see if there's anything else about Inner Circle. I think we got Facebook. Okay, here's what I'll leave you with. We at Simple Pin Media, I know I've said it 100 times, so I sound like a broken record. I am passionate about small business owners settling into a place where they can effectively market their business in a way that does not feel overwhelming, but does feel a little bit challenging because marketing is challenging, but knows how to rally up against those challenges. That you know at the end of the Inner Circle how to, well, you really know why you're using Pinterest. If you go back to that rubric, I want you to be able to put everything in the what's working. And the things that have not working are the things that you're working on getting better, and that nothing falls in the confusing or missing, that it's all there, but you have a plan. The deadline to join the Inner Circle is March 6th. This is the rate we're starting at now. I've learned not to make promises about the rate will either increase or decrease. I don't know. The market's all over the map. So we're setting it at $597, which I said is 20% of our normal price with the accelerator. You're doing the work. We're not doing the work with this, but that is where we're at. You can make 2 payments. I know that finances are a little rough for people sometimes. So just know that you can make 2 payments, one now, and then one at week 4. That'll just automatically take place. If you have any questions, and I've not answered them in this call about the Inner Circle, email me or DM us on Instagram. We're going to be there all week, kind of helping people understand how they can evaluate if Inner Circle is right for them. Again, we have 15 spots. We want to take 15 people through it. Our challenge is let's get all these 15 people set up and get them crushing it on Pinterest. So thank you so much for being with me today. I know it was a power-packed hour. I went like crazy. So hope to see you inside the Inner Circle. We're really excited about it. And again, thank you for just being part of the Simple Pin community and taking an hour out of your day. Have a great day, everybody.